What's good, guys? It's Amon-Rellik, the God Slayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. We're back on another Warframe video. Today, we're going to get into what I have come to call the core principles of endurance. Just to start everything off here, I am a player who's played for about 1,400 hours now. I started playing years ago. A lot of things have changed since I last played hardcore. So a lot of things I used to use, or as I say, a lot of the core principles I had then have been tweaked. And so from my previous channel that I no longer have, I had already gone over a lot of things, but I'm gonna rehash those things here, so I have them here on this particular channel here. If you like the content and if it helps you out in any way, please drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. All right, let's get into it. The first principle of endurance, and when I say endurance, I mean anything over like 45 minutes. Anything that reaches up to the point of getting close to an hour or more is what I consider endurance. After doing a lot of different leveling with different frames and different things, I've come to see that the things don't start to actually start testing your builds until you reach about 45 minutes to an hour. At that point, things start to begin to test your builds a little bit. And the idea is to get it to where you can go farther before your build becomes tested. That's the idea. It's not so much as when it gets hard. It's not so much as, how fast or how when it gets hard. It's about how quickly it gets hard for you. That's what you're trying to so much as gauge. You're trying to see, okay, at what point in time in my survival is it beginning to get difficult? And how can I stretch that out to where the next time I do this, it takes longer for it to get difficult? You see what I'm saying? That's where you want to go at. You don't want to deal with so much as how long you can stay in. You just want to deal with how long it takes before it becomes difficult. Now, I am a Necros Prime main. It is something that I've played Necros just about all of my playtime mainly. I played different frames, of course. I would never tell people to limit themselves to one, but I know that we all have our mains that we care for more than anything else, and Necros is mine. Now, when it comes to the first thing, optimal loadouts. Optimal loadouts. What I mean by that is your weapons should all have a purpose, and they should have a specific purpose. Like, for instance, taking this particular loadout that I have now. My Czar is an AoE damaging weapon. That's the idea. That's all it's meant for. It's not meant to be a boss killer. It's not really meant to be a single target killer. It's meant to spread damage and spread status amongst a bunch of enemies all at once. That's what it's for. Now, the fact that it does kill is nice, but that's not what it's mainly for. When it comes down to single target actual killing, I'm using the Piranha Prime. It's very good at single target damage, which is why I have a slash corrosive. I have corrosive on this to strip the armor of the enemy I'm hitting, so that I destroy them faster. And when it comes to, of course, the second or the third type of weapon, it should be a CC of some kind, a crowd control of some kind. And I go with the trusted Zenistar. It's an old school weapon that, has been synonymous with endurance gamers, and they call us corner campers. That's what they call people who do endurance, just corner campers. And it's one of the main reasons why Zenistar was nerfed, was because, I guess they felt like, all you're doing is sitting in the corner camping an area with the Zenistar. But the idea was simply that. It was the idea of how far can I push the enemies until this weapon is no longer, simply carrying me anymore, And, of course, they still made it to where you can make the Zenistar, the disc stay out, because this thing has a disc in the middle that you can toss out. That disc right there, you can toss it out, and it does AoE damage, but it's more for crowd control. That's mainly what it's for. And the Zenostar was like a godsend for endurance players because it wasn't just, see, contrary to what popular belief, it wasn't just something that you threw in a corner or you threw in a doorway and just sat there and watched it happen. It was something that you used to control the enemy being able to just bear down on you. Because when you're in a spot, you don't want to move around too much because the enemy spawn, and we'll get into that in the second part, the enemy spawn goes everywhere. So you want to instead stick to a place. But let's say you do that, and especially if you're doing solo runs, you don't want to have all the enemies just come bearing down on you from every point. You won't survive well that way. You need to be able to control the flow of the enemies. So it's like, the Zenostar was perfect for that. And I still believe in it. So, you know, I'm still going to work with it. So I have basically a weapon for AoE damage, a weapon for personal damage, for single target damage, and I have a weapon for crowd control. Now, I am a Untitled user, so, you know, I love the ability to keep my energy going and having, you know, that kind of thing, but that supplements more for my Warframe, which goes into the next part of the optimal loadout, your Warframe. Now, contrary to popular belief as well, even though Warframes can be exceedingly powerful, ridiculously powerful even, the way I would say you would want to, I would say you would want to optimally build a Warframe for endurance is you don't want to so much as build the Warframe to be able to destroy things. You want to build the Warframe to help you survive while you do, because these are supposed to be the things that kill for you. Your weapons are supposed to be what kill for you. If they wanted your Warframe to be the ultimate killing machine on its own, then they would have just gave you this, and your little, you know, your little assassination thing. You wouldn't have needed all of this then, if that's the case. So these have a purpose, and the purpose of your weapons is to do the killing. The purpose of your frame is to be the foundation of which this is possible, where all the killing is possible. So with frames, I build for survival and utility. That's what I build for. You know, I let the weapons do the killing for me. And so what you would see is more of a synergistic play. You know, you want to be synergistic. And so instead of trying to build my Necros to do massive damage, I instead build my Necros to be insanely hard to kill. You know, that helps me out because I can then put out more DPS because I'm not dead. And then because Necros doesn't have certain things like Nidus in them, then he doesn't have a gimmick where he can just, you know, have a get out of jail free card should he, you know, should he get downed. I need to make sure that that downing me is nigh impossible. And I'll go into, of course, separate builds for the frames that I use in a different video. But this here is mainly just showing you the overall core principles I go by whenever I am forging a build to take into endurance. Once I have gotten the synergy of the Warframe down, basically, what abilities does the Warframe have that either help me survive, help me negate damage, help me, you know, get away from the enemy, anything that allows me to survive longer. Those are the things that I actually build towards in the frame itself, because I'm using the frame as a utility to my killing, not the killing itself. Now, with that, we're going to go over the next point. And the next point is location and enemy spawn knowledge. And I think for this point, we'll probably need to actually go and do a mock survival to kind of get you to try to get you into an understanding of what this all means. See you there. All right. We are in a survival with the faction being infested.
Distract the infested while a lone Tenno operative hunts for supplies. Set off the alarms to start.
Now, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna show you where locations matter and the enemy spawn knowledge matters. First, we're gonna go ahead and start this.
A steady stream of toxic spores is being released
Now, in this room, I have
Emergency
1,
life support is inbound.
2, 3, and if I stay over here, 4 points of entry. That means that these enemies will come from all 4 ways, and they'll constantly come from all 4 ways. Now, if I keep running around this map, right? If I just keep running around the map, oh, this is the perfect room because they only have 1 way to come in, but they have 4 ways to spawn out there. Out there, they'll spawn all 4 ways, and they'll come in here. That's perfect. That's perfect for a single solo survivalist, right? But let's say I'm running around the map. Okay, let's say I'm just doing all this running around, right? I'm doing all this jumping and running that you want to do as a Warframe, right? And let's say I go here. You see how long it's taking the enemies to actually group up again? And this especially goes for whenever you're playing with a group of people in survivals. If everybody gets to running around in different areas, they split the spawn of the enemies up. So the enemies end up just going wherever they want to go. Now you might be wondering, well, what does that matter? Well, it matters because you see that life support system on the left side there? It's slowly going down. I need that to continue to stay, active. Or else this survival's over, right? So, that's what this is for. I throw this out, and now I can hold that area down while focusing. Let's say this was an open door right here. I can focus this while that's being taken care of. You see what I'm saying? I could be focusing over here, handling this, while that part's being taken care of. Then I can shoot this back out, and then take care of this again. Because this is all being taken care of. And you see those things? That's life support. I need that. So the idea is I need to be able to kill very, very fast. But the only way you can is if you can keep the enemy coming to one place. You keep them coming to one area. You keep them coming to one area. And as you can see, they all come in here and they all come in and grouped up to get killed. And as they do, they pop in life support, popping it back to back. I'm not even using Necros' ability to make life support pop even more, because I could use his abilities to make this life support stuff pop even more. Because Necros is he's really loved in survivals and long defense, like in like survivals, because he's the one that keeps all the items popping. And the more items that pop using his Desecrate, the more likely you'll see those drops happen, those life support drops. So again, we learned that whenever you come into an area, you can see the enemies on my screen. You can see them coming in, right? And they're popping in mainly from the left and the right. So I know I need to keep these 2 areas constantly. If I leave these areas, I end up messing up the spawns where they're coming in from the left and right. They're just pouring in, right? Cool. So I have this area as a zone to, this little area here is my breathing room to, long range attack if I need to. I can do this and switch over to this side, if I need to get some of the life support and stuff like that to keep things going, and then, I can come back over here, and I'm good. I'm good again, right? And then again, throw it back out, Now again, I'm showing you just if it was just these 2 rooms. Imagine if that room right there actually had a different room in it and they were spawning from 3 ways instead. So they're spawning from there, there, and there, right? The idea would be to throw this out, and then lock this room down with my shooting. That would be my goal, because this is being taken care of back here. You see what I'm saying? Then I can come in, grab the life support, and we're good. Pop this back out, and I'm back to shooting back here. See what I'm saying? That's the idea. That is the idea. But it's because I'm staying in one area of the map. that I'm keeping the spawns dead on me. Now,
The operative has just made
let's see how different the
Keep up the good work.
let's see how different
Extraction is
excuse me. Let's see how different the life support spawns when I use Desecrate. Spitting that at me, what's wrong with you? See, that's the reason why people love, look at that. That's why people love Necros in survival. Because he makes his spawn continuously almost. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. And now again, this is nothing like the enemies right now are level 20 something. There's nothing, you know. And again, I could probably hold this area down just by using my Zara alone, you know. But let's say in the middle of me using my Zara, right, all of a sudden a big enemy comes. I would then turn over to this, you know, and I would, you know. And what's cool about the Piranha is after 3 kills, the weapon becomes, I get an ethereal second one in my other hand, in my empty hand. So I'll show you what I mean. As you can see, this is how it fires by itself, right? That's what it does when it fires on its own. Oh my goodness gracious. Now look. Forgot that I got things. There you go. Now you see, there's a spirit one in my other hand. Stop it. Stop it. There you go. So that's another reason why I like the Piranha. Because once I can focus on an enemy, I can gun them down really quickly. Then once I do, I can switch back over to... Now this is just simply me using Desecrate by itself, right? Now if you notice, my health keeps dropping, but the enemies aren't hitting me because I have a mod on that makes Desecrate use my health instead of use my energy to whenever it pops stuff. But that's cool because I have a different mod on that allows me to get health back even when I grab energy orbs, and get health and get energy back when I grab health orbs. So I'm always being able to grab one of the two, health or energy. I'm gonna always be able to get one of the two, and it's gonna always give me both health and energy back. So that's gonna always keep me just nice and fine. And of course, we wait till our Zenostar runs out. Boom, throw it. Again. See, now we're getting to the point where we're getting our ancients to pop up now. The ancients are popping now. And again, I'm not using this to outright kill them. I'm just trying to spread damage around. I'm just trying to spread status and damage around. Just trying to spread damage. And this is the essence of what you'll be doing. And you might be wondering, well, this seems a little boring. This is like boring. I'm just doing, you know, in one area of the map, constantly doing this back and forward. What is this all? So what's this supposed to be? This is literally what I'm doing is I'm testing two things when I do this. I'm testing my ability, the ability of my Warframe to survive, because these things start to hit hard after a while, you know, to the point to where just there you go, to the point of just, you know, getting hit once can be detrimental because the enemy's damage continues to scale almost infinitely, you know. And when it comes to infested, you know, there are certain tips I can tell you about infested. One of them is you never want those flying ones to get near you. You never want those flying ones to get near you. That's another reason why Zenostar is very important. Very important. Well, I consider a very important weapon for always try to do it like level like that. That way, it's above their heads, and it's at the height in which those flying things will get hit. Because those flying things right there, you do not want those things to fly over you and spew all their toxin juices all over you, because that'll turn your run real short real fast. That'll make you run real short real fast. So. Nope. And I just keep an eye on how many shadows I have out. Like right down at the bottom, you see that 6 number. That's telling me how many I have out, and I'm just keeping an eye on that because I like to let it get down to about like 4. And once you get down about like 4, I'll like that. I'll spawn another 3 in like that. Oh, I got a flying one. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. You finna be spraying some gas around here. Go ahead and spray that gas. Go on, spray that gas. Yeah, spray that gas. Yeah, spray all them farts out. Start farting. But that's the idea. And of course, I will chop this up a little bit for you so that you won't have to watch the whole 30 minutes. But you know, that's the idea. Is, you know, I'm seeing where maybe is my weapon not killing fast enough. You know, am I losing? Is Zenistar not crowd controlling? Good enough. You know, these are the things that allow me to decide. Okay, do I need to tweak my weapons or do I need to tweak my frame? You know. Now, of course, we can talk about advanced skills. And advanced skills is like, for instance, using your parkour, you know, using your rolling. Understand that you have like a 25% damage reduction when you're rolling, so I always want to roll around. You have some damage reduction when you're parkouring and moving around, so when it starts getting really bad, you're going to notice, like if you see me in like really long runs where it's getting really bad, you'll see that I'm always moving around, I'm always jumping, and whenever I shoot, I'm always aim gliding and shooting, because the idea is I have to keep moving in order to help that damage reduction. For Necros, it's not so bad, it's a little bit more lenient, but for other frames, it's almost a must that you keep moving. When it comes to using things to help you in battle, there's 2 things you're going to want. One is you're going to want your energy plates. Especially, you know, if you got a team and you got somebody on your team who really needs energy a lot, who consumes energy a lot. But with Necros, he's basically a walking energy plate for you. But let's say you don't have that. You would want to go to your foundries and you would want to look at your, gear. And you would want to use your, either your energy restores. You got large health restores and stuff like that. But I always try to keep energy plates. And they cost 9,000 credits. Take 1 minute to build. They take a little bit of let's see what they take a little bit of polymer bundles and some nanospores. You'll get tons of this stuff. You'll get tons of this stuff. So don't worry, guys. Like, you know, you'll always have them. Always keep that going. Always keep a form of building as well. Always keep a form of building. Always keep a form of building, because it takes like 12 hours to craft these beaches. So you always want to keep a form of building. As soon as you get rid of one, like let's say this one was done, I would go ahead and take it, claim it, and immediately start another one up. Always keep formers building. But you would use energy plates, and you would want to use, guys, even if you don't care for the New Loka faction or the New Loka Syndicate, level them. Please level them. Because when you do,
we offer these to
they will give you the blueprint to the Ancient Healer Specters. It deploys an Ancient Healer Eximus to fight for you. These things are a godsend at higher levels. They are a godsend. One, because they scale with you. They scale with you and they'll heal you. You know, and since they're Eximus, they're going to also help with that whole energy drain that a lot of them can do. See? Look at that. Squad energy restore is done. Go to the ones in progress, or I can just go to ready to build, right? Either one, boom goes dynamite. I'm good, right? Matter of fact, I might wanna create another, and it creates 10 at a time. It creates 10 at a time, so that's a good thing. And then goes boom, go to dynamite, right? So now, for conclusion, start small and use solo to fine tune your builds. All right, start small and use solo to fine tune your weapons and your frame builds. You know, try to go in there and see if you can last for. I would say, go solo and see if you can last for at least 45 minutes, and it'd be easy to last 45 minutes. If you realize that you can't, try and pinpoint what part about it made it difficult. Was it your weapons not doing enough damage, or was it your frame not having enough survivability or utility? Again, it's not just survivability that the frame needs. It needs to have utility as well. It needs to work for you in some way other than just being able to be alive, because you're trying to supplement the damage you do with your weapons with survivability and utility from the frames. And then on top of that is even when leveling, let's say you're going to Hydron, right? Everybody loves Hydron. It's a defense mission, and people love to go there and level. Even if you're going to Hydron or different places to level, keep the same build. Keep the same build and playstyle with the build so that you can make that muscle memory. Because when it starts to get to the point to where the enemies are hitting 99, 100, when it starts getting to that point, you're going to have to know what to do with your frame and with your weapons. Almost.
Navigation has been updated with new invasions. Chaos is spreading.
Marvelous. I'm talking to the people. But you're going to have to know what to do at a moment's notice, especially with frames that are kind of squishy or frames that don't have as much survivability as you can make Necros have. You know, so you're going to want to make sure that you are very, very comfortable with your build. And again, you can switch weapons around. Like for instance, let's say I didn't want to use the Czar as my AoE. I got a couple of options. I've got Lens as an option. Another very strong one that people sleep on is the Phantasma. Very good option. You know, I've got options for AoE. Let's say I didn't want to use the Piranha for single target kill. Cool, that's fine. Sakaris is actually very, very dope. Sakaris is actually very, very strong. Let's say I wanted to use my let's say I wanted to use a primary for single target shot kills. Then I would use something like the Tenora, or I would use something like, oh god, Tigers. The Tigers Prime, the weapon that came out with Necros. I would use this for, this weapon is fucking ridiculous. This weapon is raw pure destruction. Like, I have not met an enemy yet that I can't 1 to 2 shot with this. And again, that could be, let's say that's gonna be my single target. Boom, right? That's gonna be my single target. Well, I need me a AoE target. You got things like Pox. Use Pox. A very strong weapon. You know, it does good AoE. You know. Or Zakti, another favorite amongst us survival nerds. You know, Zakti's another one. Beautiful weapon. Very strong. Is there any other ones? Zima a little bit, but not too much. Zima's not too good on that. You could spread some damage all right with the Atmos, but you know, we're talking about more of like, you know, when you lob something out and it spreads on its own, instead of you having to hold a trigger down and move it around to spread it. You know, you got those. And again, when it comes to CC crowd control, let's say you don't have a weapon like the Zenostar yet, or say you just don't like the Zenostar, right? You don't have to use the Zenostar to crowd control. You don't need to use the crowd control. I mean, there's not too many melee weapons that can be used for crowd control as effective as Zenostar is. So if you didn't want to do it that way, then I would suggest that you pick a Warframe instead that is crowd control savvy, like Nyx or like Limbo, something like that, or like Korra, you know, something that can crowd control itself. Because again, you're gonna have to make up for one of these three, for lacking one of the three optimal loadout pieces. You need a weapon that's AoE damage, a weapon that's single target damage, and a weapon that's CC. If you lack any one of those, then your Warframe's gonna have to make up for that. So just take those things into account. And again, this isn't something that's supposed to be set in stone as gospel, but it's what I use as a principle, as a code of principles to go by whenever I'm taking a frame and weapons and putting them together and saying, I'm going to push this as far as I can conceivably make it. So thanks guys for watching. It's Amon-Rellik the God Slayer. Amon-Rellik Gaming. After this, I'll be showing you all the builds that I roll with for all my weapons and my Warframes. Hope you guys will stick around for the new journey of the channel. I'm out.